What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Tuesday. How y'all doing? Man, the conference rumors of the ACC they've gotten out of hand. It's encroaching on QAnon type speculation. I can't keep up. I honestly I don't even want to keep up. True Seminole, you've ran the conference one time out of the past, 9 years. Stop it. Any truth to the rumor that Clemson is dropping football? I'm not even going to answer that. Joey says, I'm sick of watching people talk about it. All they have is sources. It's amazing. I'm glad to see people. Well, look, they've always got a source. Has Dabo found his login and password to the transfer portal yet? No. I think he forgot the password, and he just doesn't know how to retrieve it. I just go by what Twitter says. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I go by what Twitter says and what's the name of this guy's channel? It used to be something called double fries, no slaw. I don't know the guy. He might have multiple channels, but this guy has gone all in on the ACC QAnon theories. I mean, he's look. I don't know anything about the guy. He might be a nice guy. I don't know anything about him, other than what I've seen him post on YouTube. But he's made at least 100 predictions, and not a single one of them has come true. I mean, one of them eventually will come true, because if you make 100 predictions, eventually one of them's going to happen. But God almighty, man. Yeah, double fries, no slaw. I think he's got another channel, too. It's called College Football... what is it? A college football addiction, I think it is. Well, we are in the midst of the dog days of the off season. Once you hit May and June, there's just not a lot going on. I mean, well, there's bad news. Like, every college football fan wakes up during this, May and June and July, especially, and just hopes that they don't see their team name in some headline of some article. Because 99% of the time, it's not good news. Somebody got arrested, somebody transferred out, somebody got suspended, somebody quit, whatever. It's almost never good news. You know, I don't know. Maybe your coach got caught, like, you know, buying hookers with the company phone in Florida on a recruiting trip. You know, stuff like that. Anyway, we'll start the show here in just a second. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics about to tip off. Anybody want to tell me how to lose money on that? The Celtics favored by 12 points, I think. College football addiction. The guy is just farming for clicks. Well, it's working. I mean, I haven't looked at his. I don't know what his numbers are, but it seems to be working. Cavs ain't no good. Well, I don't know. They're 12-point underdogs. That seems like a lot. And they're good enough to be in the second round of the playoffs. So, I mean, I do agree that Boston's going to wipe the floor with them, but 12 points is a lot. Second round, but not the third round. Well, yeah, I tend to agree with you. I doubt the Cavs will win this series. You know, the Celtics will probably win either sweep it or win, you know, 4-1. I doubt it goes 6 or 7 games. It might though. I don't know. I do have a bet on the game already. I can't remember what it is though. Let me look at it. I'll tell you in a second here. And then we'll start the show. What is my bet on this here? Oh, I've got the... hold on. I'm pretty sure I bet the over. Well, I never bet the under, so if I bet it, I definitely bet the... Oh, yeah, here it is. I bet over... Hold on. Over 211. There you go. Now, I will make a bet on the game during the game, probably. I'll make a live bet on the actual, you know, the point spread. But I want it to drop some. Like I said, it's at 12 right now. If it gets below 10, I might bet it. Otherwise, I just won't do it. Oh. We'll see. All right. All right. Turn this music off. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the ACC show. Sorry, no show last week, but here we are, and I'm joined by my friend, colleague, and co-host, the one and the only, and there is only one, Sea-Dog. How's it going, Sea-Dog?
Hey, what's up?
How's it going, buddy?
Going pretty good, man. How about you?
Well, I'm amazing and fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, that's great news.
Yeah. So have you signed up or made a reservation yet for the Slob Cruise 2025?
No, I haven't.
Are you going to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got till like June, right?
Well, you have till June, except for it depends on what kind of room you want.
Right.
If you want the discount. I mean,
Yeah.
I have a feeling you'll probably be okay either way. If you know, like, what kind of room are you looking to get?
Just whatever's cheapest.
Yeah, so the interior rooms is what you're talking about. That's the cheapest one. It's going to be about $400 per person for 3 days.
I gotta get my boys together and see if they want to go.
Yeah, so we were talking about that. So how is that going to work? So you always, like, Sea-Dog is like a rapper. He travels with an entourage of people around him.
Yeah.
And almost every time, well, I think every time,
Yeah.
you've stayed somewhere other than where we're staying as a group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Pretty much.
Now, I never even really thought about that till now. So do you want to tell us why that is? Do you just not want to be around us, or is there another reason?
I just it's just cheaper to stay with all my friends, and
Yeah.
we kind of also have the Slob Olympics as like a sort of vacation for all of us as a friend group too.
Right. So you make he doubles up on the vacation. He goes, I'm gonna go hang out with my slob friends, but on the side, I'm gonna hang out with my my longtime friends. I don't know how else to describe them other than that, right? Like you've been friends with those guys for a long time, a lot longer than us.
Oh yeah.
So you try to like kill two birds with one stone and make one vacation out of it. That's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, and the slobs are fun. Everybody likes them. We had a great time this past year. I wish I wasn't working, while I was up there, but yeah, I don't know. It's just cheap to stay with them all, and they like to come to the slobs, and we have a good time.
Yeah.
So I got to see if they want to come on a cruise.
Of course they want to come on a cruise. Why wouldn't they want to come on a cruise?
Well, I don't know. It might be too expensive for some of them, or if it might be.
But it's not more expensive than anything we've ever done before, though.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, it would be for us because usually we only for the Panama City trip, it was like only a couple $100 per person. It was like
but you still had to pay for all your food and drink and entertainment.
Oh yeah, right. So there's that. I already know Stevie J. He's not going to be able to come. He already said because he's moving to Savannah, and he's getting his doctorate. So
his doctorate.
Yeah,
Dr. Stevie J.
Dr. Stevie J. Yeah.
What's he getting his doctorate in?
Physical therapy.
Oh, he's a therapist. He's okay. That's cool.
Yeah, physical therapy. So he already told us, he was like, nah, I won't be able to go next year. I'll be busy with school and it'll probably be too expensive. So, and he's leaving Thursday. He's moving out of town. It'll be the first time, since kindergarten, me and him didn't live in the same town. So it really sucks.
I wonder if he'll give me like a discount on physical therapy when I hurt myself at the Slob Olympics.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he'd be happy.
Like 20% off or something, you think?
Yeah. Slob discount.
Friend discount.
Yeah.
Sea-Dog friend discount.
A group. I'm sure you can get a group rate because you won't be the only one.
Yeah, I definitely won't be the only one.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the past 2 years I haven't got injured at all. I mean, I injured my brain, but physically I didn't injure anything.
When I did the obstacle course, the first year we did it in Isle of Palms, I like fell on the sand at the end and like bruised my rib or something. It hurt for months.
Yeah, I know all about the rib injuries. Yeah, I've had those too.
Yeah.
But
Last
this
year
time,
thankfully,
this time you and your friends won't be able to stay in a different place than us. You have to stay on the ship. I mean, you could stay outside of the ship, but I don't know how that would work. I mean, a lifeboat maybe. I don't know.
Tugboat falling behind. Yeah.
Tugboat. Yeah.
It probably. if I had to guess, it probably wouldn't be very many of my friends that come on the cruise. I guess we'll find out soon. But
yeah. I got news. Well, we all got news last night on the Lunch Money Show. Carolina Jackpot has booked a cruise for the Slob Olympics.
All right.
Can you believe that?
That's awesome.
I thought he was trolling at first when he said that, but he said no, he's not trolling. He actually did book the cruise.
That's great news.
Yeah, that is great news.
Hell yeah.
That is great news. And also, Traveling Fools, who's the one who put the whole thing. Well, he didn't really put the whole thing together, but he's the one that contacted got the rate anyway. He sees every time someone signs up to book a room, like I guess he gets some sort of notification, or there's a website he goes on. I don't know how it all works, but right now he reserved 25 rooms, and I think 15 of them, or somewhere around there. See, 14 or 15 of the rooms have been booked.
Oh.
So that's what I'm saying. It's imperative if you want to come, or you think you might want to come, to go ahead and do it sooner than later.
Oh yeah, I'll go ahead and do it then.
Yeah, and plus
I'm a procrastinator, so
yeah, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
I booked my room live on the midday show. It took me, I don't know, it should have only taken 5 minutes. Of course, I drug it out, so it took about 10 minutes. Because I had a bunch of questions that didn't, really pertain to anything to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, just do it. So have you been keeping up with the ACC news that's been going on?
No.
Well, there's two court cases. You have Clemson versus the ACC and Florida State versus the ACC in two different states. I believe the Clemson court case is in North Carolina, where the ACC headquarters are, and there's actually two court cases, I think, with Florida State, one in North Carolina and one in Florida.
Gotcha.
It's a circus.
Really?
Yeah. I don't even know how else to describe it. But here's my prognostication. Okay. I think what's going to end up happening in both cases is that they're going to eventually just settle the lawsuits, and the ACC is going to say, okay, yeah, we'll let you out at a discounted rate from what you owe us with the buyouts and the grant of rights and whatnot, and they'll come to some sort of deal to let them out. Now, when it goes into effect, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be in 2025, 2026, 2027. I don't know any of that. But it does look right now as if both those teams are definitely leaving. It's just a matter of when and how.
Right.
And maybe some other teams too. So some of the other names on the list have popped up. North Carolina is the latest one. I know NC State has also been talked about, and of course Miami.
Right.
But none of those teams are named Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Georgia Tech is just. It seems like they're just content with just riding along, coast along, see what happens, let things happen to them. Whatever. Don't even get me started.
Well, I'm trying to get you started. That's kind of the point. Yeah.
They're
please get
so
started.
Frustrating with how just hands off they are and not just proactive when it comes to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're just. It frustrates me a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I think you know how I feel about it. I want Clemson to get out of the ACC, and it's not because I hate the ACC or anything. It's just because I feel like the ACC is poorly run.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel for, if they do get out, which I think they will eventually, I feel for the teams left over, like Georgia Tech and whoever else gets left over.
Yeah.
Because the conference at that point is going to be a shell of its former self, and right now it's really not even that great to begin with. So I don't know. Like what would has there been any talk? Because I don't hang out on the Georgia Tech forums or anything like you do, and you follow it a lot closely, more closely than I do. Is there any talk from Georgia Tech fans about what they would want to happen if Florida State and Clemson or one of the two or both or more did leave?
Well, the Georgia Tech fan base is a lot. It's very divided in a lot of ways because you have like your boomer old people, that like think we should still run the triple option.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So you have that, and they probably think I've seen somebody say we need to go to the Ivy League. It's like,
No, come on, stop that. No. That's silly.
So you have that. Then you have people with common sense that say, well, we need to try everything we can to get into the Big Ten, really. I mean, the SEC is kind of out of the question because we didn't we left the SEC. We were one of the founding members or whatever, and we left, and then they went. We tried to join back again, like 20 years later or something. They said no. So it's not gonna happen basically with the SEC. So
I doubt it would happen with. I guess it could happen with the Big Ten. Academic. Excuse me.
Right.
I got the hiccups academically, but I guess that's a possibility. I think the more possible situation would be, well, there's only the Big 12 left.
Yeah, I would be, I guess, underwhelmed if we did wind up going to the Big 12. It wouldn't be the worst scenario, but I would be over the moon if we got in the Big 10 or SEC, by some miracle. But if we, if we stayed in the ACC and it was like a shell of the former conference like the Pac-12 is now or something like that, that would be very upsetting. It'd be kind of like getting relegated to the group of five,
I don't think it would be the worst situation in the world because here's the way I think about it. Let's say that Florida State, Clemson, and North Carolina leave. Like, it may be more, but let's just use those three as an example. Mm-hmm. Would going to the Big 12 be worse than staying in that, like, in what's left over in the ACC? I don't think it would. I think it would be a better situation financially for sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know about, competitively or not, but
yeah, I don't know. I feel like if the ACC lost, because we're not going to add anybody of value. I mean, you just saw we added Stanford and freaking Cal and SMU. It's like we're not adding quality teams to replace. Definitely not replacing Clemson and FSU.
No. And I learned something else today too, I think I knew this already, but I heard it. But anyway, so Florida State and Clemson both were two of the teams that both voted against adding on SMU.
Right.
Now, why that is, I don't know. Well, not just SMU, like across the board, they didn't want the expansion of the conference. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so I think that was one of the things that pushed them over the edge to file the lawsuit and say we're out. They didn't want those teams. And I know some SMU fans are sort of like butthurt about it. That the fact that they got, voted against. But now to SMU's credit, they have put a lot of money into their athletic and especially their football program in the past 5 years or so, like preparing for this. And that's the reason they were courted in the first place by the ACC outside of the academic part of it, is that they put like $500 million into their football program in the past 10 years. So they're trying to be a big time player in the country. And I think it is a step up for SMU, obviously from the group of five to the Power Five or Power Four now. But I still don't think that they quite fit into the conference. Does that make sense? Am I crazy by thinking that, or I mean?
No, I agree. It just is a total like desperation move on the part of the ACC.
Yeah.
I mean, I made my thoughts known when it comes to that. It's just a sign of it's just a desperate, kind of move. I think the ACC is a dead man walking, basically.
Yeah, I think it is too. Momo says conference needs 12 teams to stay a conference. Well, that's part of the reason I think that they added 3 teams is with the foresight that possibly they might lose a couple of teams. Right. Clemson and Florida State.
No, that's definitely what it was.
Yeah.
That's definitely what it was. It's so obvious. And it's just they did it so late in the game. It's like think of like everything we went through with conference alignment. Like the first thing to happen was Texas and Oklahoma to the SEC. Well, there was a period there where the Big 12 seemed like it was going to die because it was so vulnerable.
It was pretty close to dying. You're right. Yeah. I mean, they were on the verge. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead, they added Cincinnati and UCF and some quality teams. Not like national contenders, but they got themselves a good TV deal and they managed to stay alive. And the ACC failed to,
that's a great point because it points out exactly the difference in leadership between the Big 12 and the ACC. Mm-hmm. Because I don't really think that the Big 12 puts out that much better of a product than the ACC does. Mm-hmm. If at all. I mean, that's debatable.
Right.
But somehow they managed to save the conference and make a better TV deal than the ACC did.
We could have jumped on them and taken some teams from them, and we didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, so instead we got left with, a couple of California teams and a Texas team.
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now we got Slim Shady Canes in here, and honestly, if the conference does fall apart, I would like to see Miami jump on board with both Clemson and Florida State. Now I don't know, has there been any news on that front that you know of?
No.
I mean, there's been some stuff swirling here over the past 2 weeks about the Big 12, but that's about it.
Yeah.
They're staying pretty tight-lipped about everything. I mean, Dan Radakovich come out and said what he needed to publicly, but that doesn't mean that they're not looking into things behind the scenes, and just being mums or
yeah. I've been a little bit surprised about Miami because I mean, listen, we talk shit about Miami never winning the ACC and all that, but they're still one of the biggest brands in the country. I'm surprised they've been so quiet on the front. I feel like, are they just sitting and waiting to see what happens with Florida State and Clemson before they make their move, or they just start like digging their heels in and like we're staying in the ACC? That's it. I don't really know.
I don't know either. I mean, they could have the same line of thinking I do, that Sea Dog's assumption, and he's not the only one. A lot of people make this assumption that the ACC is a dead conference walking is completely overblown. I mean, and you really kind of even made my point for me when you said, well, everybody thought the Big 12 was a dead conference walking too.
Yeah, but there was quality teams available that they were able to add that we're not going to be able to. They saved themselves by adding Cincinnati, UCF, and then picking apart the Pac-12 with Utah and shit.
Yeah, and
we're
plus,
not gonna be able to do that.
If you're talking about just competitiveness, that's one thing. But when you're talking about the money that goes along with it, that's a different discussion. So I mean,
okay, but you know as well as I, whoever signs the last contract has got the biggest one. So to say, oh, they made a better deal than the ACC is really a disingenuous statement, because that's not how it works.
How is it disingenuous? It's a fact. I mean, they signed a better deal than the ACC did.
I mean, they signed one for more money, but they signed it after they did.
Yeah.
Guess what? Okay, so
did they sign one that went? Did they sign a 20-year deal?
Actually, I think that's a good thing. to be perfectly honest with you.
No, it's not. That's the reason they're in court right now.
Yes, it really is.
How?
Because it puts a stop. Because here, at the end of the day, the ACC is not going to disappear. Like, there is no talk of them even losing their power of status as far as conferences go.
Yeah, because they have the numbers because they brought in SMU, Cal, and Stanford. They've got the numbers to stay a power conference, but that doesn't mean they're going to be competitive in it.
And whatever keeps us from an NFL model of a two-conference league, I think is for the best.
Listen, we got two of the absolute rejects from the Pac-12. The teams that nobody wanted, they came to the ACC, and then one Group of 5 team.
Yeah. Okay,
and not even the good
literally added the same thing, but you think it's great. Like, you're contradicting.
I didn't say it was great. It's better than the ACC's deal.
Yeah,
that's all I said.
Just Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's newer than the ACC's deal. That's all.
They added the best Group of 5 teams. They added Cincinnati, who was in the playoff a couple years ago. They added UCF, who has a fake national championship. And then they went and added teams
both
from
teams. And both those coaches are gone, C-Dog.
Slim, stop. First of all, the Atlantic Coast Conference adding 2 teams from California reeks of desperation.
Yeah,
it reeks of desperation. And that's what they are. They're desperate.
They didn't just add that. They also got Utah, which is one of the best teams. I mean, back-to-back defending Pac-12 champions. So it's like they're not,
I mean, Cal is they are. I know people like Marshawn Lynch went to Cal. That's great. Aaron Rodgers went to Cal. That's great. But nobody takes Cal seriously. Nobody's taken Stanford seriously in 5 years, and SMU can't even win the Group of 5, let alone the Power 4.
That changes with time, and you know that.
Yeah. Well, you're right. That is true.
There was absolutely a time when SMU was perennially a nationally relevant team.
Yeah, 50 years ago?
Same goes for UCLA. Well, you know what happened to SMU.
Yeah, they cheated and got caught.
Yeah, and they're the only team to get the death penalty.
I'm actually the SMU out of all the 3 teams they added. I'm actually the SMU does make more sense, but Cal and Stanford make 0 sense to me.
Well, I mean, I don't think adding teams to the Big Ten from California makes
Didn't they
sense
literally just wasn't there like a I might be wrong, but it had to do with the grant of rights or something, the contract or something or the other, where they had to have a certain amount of teams. It was more advantageous basically to have a certain amount of teams because it would be easier to get out of the grant of rights if they didn't.
Well, it's a domino effect. So what the SEC and the Big Ten have expanded so quickly, so much and so fast that the other conferences are sitting around going, we've got to do something because I mean we can't just fall by the wayside, and so now you have what you have, but it seems
actually the SEC has expanded less than the ACC has. The SEC added 2 teams.
Yeah, 2.
And haven't made another move. They've done the least expansion of anybody.
They added Oklahoma and Texas.
Yes, I know.
I'll say that again. They added Oklahoma and Texas. Hello? They added Oklahoma and Texas.
Okay. That still completely flies in the face of the statement you made.
What?
You said the SEC and Big Ten have expanded so aggressively, so quickly.
Yeah, aggressively with good teams.
2 teams.
Good teams. Not fucking Stanford and Cal. In a Group of 5 team.
And nobody knew about that ahead of time. And once that does happen, name me another Texas and Oklahoma. USC ain't it.
If the ACC had added Oklahoma and Texas, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But they didn't. They added Cal and Stanford and SMU.
Okay, well, nobody was talking about expansion until that happened.
Yeah, well.
Anything. Like, that was literally the first domino that fell.
Notre Dame is the wild card of all wild cards out there. I don't know if it's that wild because if you ask the Notre Dame man, hold on.
I don't feel well. Jesus, life shouldn't be that stressful. If this is my show 2 weeks in, by week 10, I'm going to be doing the show from a casket. Look down in the bayou.
The Notre Dame man will tell you that forget it. Well, all the speculation. They're not. They're going to remain independent, and why wouldn't they? With the 12-team playoff, their chances of getting in the playoff now without a conference championship is better than it's ever been in their history. Of the playoffs. So why would they do that? They just signed a new deal, a new TV deal. So they're raking in the money hand over fist. Why would they want to join a conference? So.
Well, I mean, that's the assumption that their chances are better to get in, but I actually see Uncle Lou's theory being very likely that the committee gets kind of fed up with Notre Dame and they leave out a 10-2 Notre Dame.
A 10-2 Notre Dame in a 12-team playoff?
I could see it happening, yes.
Yeah, I can't see that happening.
I honestly could.
I think
that will change Notre Dame, man's
the 12-team playoff is exactly why Notre Dame will remain independent. If that hadn't happened, if it still was a 4-team playoff, I think that Notre Dame would be almost forced to join a conference. But
if they had gone undefeated and got left out,
yeah,
they would have joined a conference for sure. But now that will never happen.
Right. I can see a two-loss Notre Dame team still getting in a 12-team playoff. I mean, it depends on who they lose to and how they lose to them, but still, 2 losses as long as they don't get blown out by, fucking, some shit team. I don't know. Maybe Notre Dame can play themselves in a championship game, like a spring game. Now I'd watch that. Can you imagine a Notre Dame scrimmage against themselves? It's a play-in game. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I've said before in these conversations. I think a whole lot of assumptions are being made with just absolutely zero evidence of it.
But okay, but be more specific. What assumptions are you talking about?
Well, like I said, I mean, some people's assumption that, like I said, the ACC is a dead conference.
Well, sir, let me stop you there.
I actually think, especially with the landscape of college football now, it's advantageous to stay.
Let me stop you there, Slim. If Clemson and Florida State announce tomorrow or 2 years from now or whenever that they're leaving the ACC, guess what? The ACC is a dead conference. Football-wise, it is. I mean, they can go the Big East route and be a basketball conference if they want to, but as far as football goes, it's a dead conference.
No, not necessarily.
Yes, necessarily. It is. It's gone.
No.
I mean, it might not cease to exist, but nobody will watch it.
No.
Huh?
Not if Miami stays. Miami would keep it afloat just like they did the Big East.
So Miami and a bunch of no-name teams that nobody cares about. Who's watching that?
Well, a lot of people watch Miami. Look at the TV ratings.
That's one team. I'm talking about the entire conference.
Name me all these great teams that were in the Big East.
Well, that's why the Big East doesn't have football anymore. That's my point.
Actually, the two that left that pretty much put the death nail on the coffin, the Big East would still be in the ACC.
So let me ask you personally, forget all whatever anybody else is talking about. If Florida State and Clemson left the ACC, as a Miami fan, would you be not upset if Miami just dug their heels in and said we're going to become the kings of the ACC and stay in the ACC?
No, I really wouldn't care. Well,
you should.
Caveat to that. Hang
Miami
on.
would not be
I really shouldn't. because, well, listen, we're going to win it this year and probably never lose it again.
Yeah. Hold on. Win this year and never lose it again? You've lost it every year you've been in it.
Sure.
You lost your mind, too.
Well, I don't expect you to get it because you're one of those delusional Clemson fans that thinks you still have a relevant football program and you don't.
Clemson's not relevant now? Is that what you're saying? I'm the delusional one, but you're telling me that Clemson's not relevant.
Go to Twitter now, and they're acting just like Miami fans in 05.
I don't care about what other Clemson fans say on Twitter. You said me. You said I was a delusional Clemson fan.
Oh yeah, you're with the rest of them. You still think Clemson's a relevant football program, and Dabo Swinney has made you an irrelevant football program.
Of course. Jesus Christ. Now here's a delusional Clemson fan here.
Well, that's another one, yeah.
Robot HBP.
Right.
Hey, Slim, stop. Don't be stupid, man. You're now turning into the dumb Slim. There's no reason why Miami should stay in the ACC. Okay?
Actually,
None.
there is.
And the only reason why you're saying this is because
Yeah, they need to stay in it, but
Clemson.
listen,
On your ass.
Slim knows that the only way that
Hang on,
You do want us to leave, actually, because you think you can win the ACC
So
once
how
we're
do either
gone.
one of y'all own us?
So stop.
That is just factually
That's why you're all about this.
Clemson
ACC
had.
bullshit.
Are you
ACC
kidding me?
needs to go away. That's period.
The only way possible that Miami has a chance to take over that conference is if Florida State and Clemson leave. That's it.
How you figure?
History, sir. That's how.
Yes, history. What is the history? We're tied.
The history
all
is
time
that.
with y'all.
The history
Hang on.
is that
We're
you.
tied all time with y'all. We have a winning record against Florida State, and neither one of y'all's programs come anywhere near the national relevancy that the University of Miami.
And ever since you left the Big East, you have a big fat fucking goose egg for conference titles, and it's been 20 years. It's been 20 years, Slim.
Okay,
20.
So that means we're only halfway through what Clemson and Georgia went through, and it looks like we're coming out of it before either one of them.
Based on what?
It doesn't look like it to me.
Based on what? It doesn't look like it to me.
I'm gonna Slim. You just stop. You're just being stupid.
He's telling me that Clemson fans are delusional, but he's over here talking about Miami's going to win the ACC this year, even though they've never done it. I can't. If I had $1 for every time I heard a Miami fan say they were winning the ACC, I would be on here right now. I'd be on a fucking beach in Tahiti.
Guess what? Florida State never did it until they did it. I mean, that's a dumb argument.
Look,
You could win the ACC every year for the next 15 years. You still wouldn't have as many conference championships in the ACC as Clemson has.
yeah, I love you and all, but Jesus, man, now you're running up a flagpole that doesn't need to be run
I'm not
up.
running up any flagpole. That has got to be the dumbest argument in the history of college football takes. The fact that they've never done it, so they're never going to win it, is stupid.
I never said they were never going to win it. Well,
At the teams Clemson has right now, look at the team Miami has right now. Miami would wipe the floor with Clemson.
oh, Jesus. Stop it.
That's just silly.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Okay, good. Slim. Okay, you want to bet on it? I'll put $50 on it, Slim. I swear to God. Let's go.
They're not playing each other, so I don't know what you're betting on.
Yeah,
I mean-
they're betting on who looks the best, I guess.
I mean, I guess it's possible they could play each other in the championship game. But
Yeah, very small percentage.
not really a small percentage. I mean, there's not that many teams in the mix as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you got what, maybe 4 teams in the mix, 5 at the most.
No, listen, look and listen. Miami will not win the ACC this year. It's either Clemson
Big surprise.
or Florida State.
One of the hottest takes I've ever heard.
And if you think Florida State's winning anything this year, I need you to go relearn football.
I guess. But
And Slim over here trying to tell us that something's going to happen with Miami. And don't hold your breath.
Yeah, I'll hold my breath on Clemson being relevant.
Well, if you hold your breath for 20 years, you'd be dead.
And if I held my breath for 40 like Clemson fans did, I'd have been dead too.
Yeah. Well, we'd both be dead then.
Hey, still doesn't change the fact that right now Miami is a better team than Clemson. And that got proven out on the field last year when Miami had a worse team than they have.
All right, so the year before that, Clemson beat Miami by a lot too. So all it takes is 1 year to change that, or I mean,
Well,
does the past 20 years not matter, or just one season is all it takes?
It's called. You look over the past couple of years, Miami's trending up.
So
Clemson is trending down.
So Ole Miss had a great year in the SEC last year. Are they about to win it now?
They very well could.
Yeah. No, they
They're
can't.
even better than they were last year.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
Based off of what?
The-
They're a more talented team than they were last year. They were 11
Slim's
games
drinking the Kool-Aid, man.
I mean,
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
I kind of agree with him that Miami's the better team right now.
Yeah. I don't.
I know you don't.
On the list of teams that worry me, Miami's not high on that list.
I mean, they shouldn't be.
They
They're
didn't
not
worry
even on your
you.
schedule.
They didn't worry you last year, and we beat you. Now,
I would-
Yeah.
had enough
All
time
right.
to show
Fine.
it.
That's great. You won the game. It took a double overtime, complete fucking faux pas by our shit quarterback. You almost lost in double overtime to a shit quarterback.
We beat you in fucking regulation, but the referees fucked that up.
No, referees, yeah, that's their fault too. Yeah.
I really, really wish that
Really?
Georgia Tech.
I guess it's the referees'
Still
fault.
want to argue with me whether or not that was the safety?
I guess it's the referees' fault that Miami hasn't won the ACC in 20 years.
No.
Well, it must
Not
be.
at all. No, not at all. I'm talking about clear and concise points referees took off the board in regulation that never would have sent it to overtime.
All right, so you beat Clemson for the first time in I don't know what 8 years, something, a long time.
Something.
A long time, but you still didn't win the ACC. But all of a sudden now you're a better team, better program. You're going to win the ACC. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it does make a lot of sense if you're honest with yourself and pay attention.
I'm honest with myself, and I do pay attention. And what I paid attention to is the fact that it's the fact that Miami every year thinks they're going to win it, and they don't. Every year. Every year.
5 minutes ago,
Every
I've never made
year.
that fucking argument.
Every year. Same shit, same outcome.
Okay. Once again,
I mean, he
what
does
did you
have a
say
point.
5 minutes ago?
Flint,
I've never
he
made
does.
that argument. So you can take that and shove it up your ass.
There's not room in my ass. There's already stuff up there.
So is
Like I
Miami
said,
gonna?
I've
Is
never
Miami
said
gonna beat Florida
year
State?
after year Miami's going to win the ACC.
Well, you haven't. Yeah, you're right about that.
And as far as his question about Florida State, I'm giving you the same answer I've given you every single year on this show,
It's a
and I've been on
toss-up.
YouTube. It's a coin flip.
Yep. At least he's consistent. At least Slim Shady Canes is consistent.
That's the way that game goes. They played 23 times since 2000. 18 of them been decided by 8 points or less. Why? I mean, odds should tell you that game's coin flip.
Shout out to Mrs. Mack for gifting a membership. Who got it? Jay Shipes. Welcome to the Join, sir. Eric Styles, or what is his name? Shitties? Hold on now.
What?
I need glasses. Does that say Shitties?
I can't see it.
Anyway, Eric Shitties says South Carolina has more ACC championships than Miami. God damn. That's a casket.
That's a irrelevant argument to what we said.
It's not an argument. It's just a fact.
Okay. That's a fact. That's a fact that is probably going to change here in about 10 months.
Or not. Most likely not.
Most likely is.
How many of you in the chat and here on the panel would put money on Miami to win the ACC this year? Like, I'm like, an amount of money that mattered to you, not $5 or $1. All right, how many of you would actually put down like $100, $200, $300 and bet that Miami's going to win the ACC this year? How many of you? I'm guessing 0 people. Oh, just you, Slim. Probably just you.
Okay, what does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything. It means that nobody would do it.
Okay.
That's what it means.
That's fine. That's not an argument that disproves my case. So, congratulations. Try again.
Tar Heels for Life said, I would bet $400 that Miami misses a bowl. Now, I wouldn't do that. That's a little extreme.
I bet North Carolina misses a bowl.
Ouchie.
Wow. I don't think I'd make that bet either. I think they'll make a bowl.
No. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Momo says that Slim said that FSU wouldn't win last year.
Yeah, but I say FSU isn't going to win every year.
Yeah, and you also say Clemson's not going to win every year, and that Miami's better than Clemson every year. And yeah, you do.
No, I don't. That's just not true. And there's video evidence of such. I've only ever picked Boston College and Georgia Tech to go through a season without winning a game. That's it.
Well, how'd that work out for you?
Well,
those were both trolls. I always pick a team to troll on every year.
I do think it's funny though that, and I get it. Don't get me wrong. Look, first of all, let me preface by saying this. I do not think that Clemson is going to win the national championship. I don't think if there's a 4-team playoff this year instead of a 12-team playoff, that Clemson would have a chance of getting into that. They're probably going to lose at least 2 games during the regular season. So all of those things are true. But I still think that Clemson should be the favorite going into 2024 in the regular season in the ACC.
Based off of what?
Based off of their roster and their history and their head coach.
Okay, well, their history has nothing to do with it.
Of course it does. Their history.
What you did 5 years ago, that doesn't determine what the polls should be.
It does when there hasn't been a coaching change, not a head coaching change.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But year over year, the last 2 years, you've had a worse record. And your coach has not changed what's causing that. So why should
in your opinion, what's causing it?
His absolute refusal to bring in some transfers to help fill in the roster.
Well, but he's not refusing to use the transfer portal. He's offered several people. They just chose to go somewhere else. So this whole refusal to use the transfer portal thing is just not true.
By very definition, yes, but offering 2 linemen when you need more than just 2 linemen.
They've offered more than that, but now if you want to say
your offensive line has been bad going back to when Trevor Lawrence was there, he just had a skill set to hide it. Your wide receiver core has been dog shit since 2020, and shows no signs of getting any better.
Yeah. Again, I'm comparing them to the rest of the ACC, And I don't see anybody out there with a better roster from top to bottom. Yeah, I mean, you can pick out one position group here or there. You might say somebody has a better offensive line. Great. Somebody might have a better, top wide receiver. Great. I'm talking about the entire roster.
You may have two position groups right now today that are better than Miami.
What are they?
Two. Defensive line and secondary.
Huh.
Our linebackers are just as good, if not better. Our wide receiving core is better. Our offensive line is better. Our quarterback is way better. That's another Dabo problem. And I'm not going to completely knock him for it because he did it with DJ, but he's loyal to a fault to a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't loyal to Kelly Bryant, was he?
No, well, maybe he did like Kelly Bryant. I don't know.
Of course he liked him.
But he's definitely been that way with DJ and Cade.
Well, the thing was with DJ is Cade was sitting on the bench and everyone's going, put Cade in, put Cade in. Dabo's too loyal to DJ. Well, now they're all going, DJ was better than Cade, so maybe he knows what the fuck he's doing. So, I don't know how you could take somebody with a, especially when you talk about the quarterback position, a coach like Dabo Swinney, who's got multiple quarterbacks, first-round draft picks in the NFL, or successful in the NFL, and say he doesn't know how to develop quarterbacks?
He doesn't know how, but he has changed.
Or doesn't know how to choose them?
It's not happening anymore. Because I was with you. I thought, okay, you brought in Garrett Riley, everything's going to be great. Didn't happen.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see about that.
You can't throw the argument I'm just hating. Go back and look up our predictions from last year. I had a better outlook on Clemson than you did. I predicted them to make the playoffs like a dummy.
Well, I think I did too.
I did too. What an L.
Because I was with you. I thought.
Well, a lot of people did because of their schedule and their roster. I mean, it only made sense to pick them to go to the playoffs, but they shit the bed.
Okay, well, because of the schedule and roster, I'm picking Miami to win the conference. And don't get me wrong, the schedule's got plenty to do with it too.
If you're in the top 7, why would you care about conference championship? Well, conference championship gets you automatically in the playoffs. So that's the main reason why you care about that. I mean, it's an automatic bid.
And that goes back to my original point of what I was trying to make about staying in the ACC. As long as that doesn't change, why would I want to leave the ACC?
Well, because you're going to get left behind, like the rest of the teams in the ACC. Which is the reason that Florida State and Clemson won out. What do you mean, what am I talking about?
According to you, today, neither Clemson nor Florida State has been left behind, so that completely invalidates your argument.
I do think they've been left behind. What did I say that made you think that What did I say that made you think that they haven't been left behind? They have been.
Based off of what?
I mean, clearly any team in the ACC has been left behind at this point. That's the reason they're doing what they're doing.
Define left behind.
Financially, mainly, which trickles down to everything else.
Yeah, well, okay, well, and if that were true, Texas would win every national title forevermore.
No.
Nobody has more money than Texas.
No. It doesn't mean that the team that has the most money wins every year. What it means is if you don't keep up with the Joneses financially, then in the long run, you will be left behind. It's not a year-to-year thing. It's a long-term thing.
Refused to spend money on football for 40 years and we're pretty damn successful at it.
Yeah, well, things have changed. I don't know if you've noticed.
I don't disagree with that. but it doesn't mean you have to have the most money to be successful, because that's just not true.
Joey says, Pete, I'll bet you $25 that Miami wins the ACC and $25 that Clemson does not. So you want to bet $50? I'm confused by what he's saying there.
I think you're right. I think he's meaning.
You want to make a $50
basically like
bet.
what I did with Sea-Dog.
First of all, don't threaten me with a good time. And by good time, I mean betting. I'll bet you. Here's what I'll do, Joey. I'll bet you $25 that Miami does not win the ACC. So I'll take half that bet.
He took the one with the best odds.
Yeah, of course. I'm a degenerate gambler.
Not a dumb gambler.
Yeah. I'll bet you $25 that Miami does not win the ACC. I mean, the odds are in my favor. Period. All right. He says it's a bet, then. All right. Write it down. Tattoo it on your forehead if you have to, but if you do tattoo it on your forehead, make sure you tattoo it backwards so that when you look in the mirror, it reads correctly. $25. No Miami ACC championship for at least one more year. Well, at least till Clemson and Florida State leave. Then they might have a chance, but until then, they're pretty much fucked. Until then, they're pretty much fucked.
That's just not true.
Of course it is.
Of course it isn't.
I'm seriously writing this down because it's going to be a long time before now and then. I have to remember.
Just don't lose that piece of paper.
I might. Joey Foster, $25, no Miami ACC championship. There we go. I like my odds on that.
Oh, hell, I like your odds on that. But the likelihood's still not in your favor.
Of course the odds are in my favor.
Well, the odds are, yeah.
Well, Joey, you could make a lot of bets with that bet. Everybody in the chat section wants to bet you on that. Well, you're either going to be rich or you're going to be paying out a lot of money. Louisville, man, stop it.
I still haven't seen a valid argument to disprove my case.
Well, I gave the most valid argument of the history of arguments.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
They haven't won it yet. So
You've been in the conference for 20 fucking years and haven't won it yet.
Now,
20 years, Slim.
Matter. 20 years does not matter. That's a
Of course it matters.
Get a better argument. You're terrible at
It's
this.
the only argument that matters.
No, it's actually the only argument that doesn't matter. You can't look at Miami's schedule and roster now versus anybody else in the ACC and tell me that outside of maybe one team on our schedule, we will be favored against every single
All right, let's
team
do this then. Let's go through every Power 5 or Power 4 conference now and look at somebody who's been in the conference for 20 years and hasn't won it and then like how much do you how much are you going to bet on them to win it now?
Guess what?
This year. How many? The answer, I'll give you an answer. The answer is 0. There's nobody that's going, Indiana's winning the Big Ten. There's nobody that's going, Vanderbilt's winning the SEC. Nobody. Nobody is doing it.
You can't find anybody we're an underdog to, so that's why you keep beating this dead horse.
Well, you're not playing Clemson. You would be an underdog to them.
The lines are out. I've already looked them
You
up.
would be an underdog to Clemson, probably Florida. Are you playing Florida State?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the line on that?
Florida State every year.
In 20 years, Miami has only been there once. What, the championship game? Yeah, what year was that?
That was 2017. We would have also been there in, what was that, 2011 or 12, right in there somewhere. That's when they were doing that whole postseason ban, self-imposing postseason ban shit.
Yeah. Why'd they do a self-imposing postseason ban?
Because they thought they were going to get in trouble. Turns
For
out
what?
they didn't.
Get in trouble for what?
Allegations that were made that were proven to be untrue.
You don't want to say what it was, or?
What does it matter? It wasn't true.
I mean, I'm just asking. What were the allegations?
Many and unscurrilous.
What?
I said many and unscurrilous.
Oh. He doesn't want to say what it was.
Well, we didn't get in trouble for it, so what does it matter?
Yeah, Momo says every 15 years they make it. So, yeah, I guess we have to wait till, what, 2030? What is that? What's 17 plus... Mrs. P, what's 17 plus 50? Is that 37? We got to wait till 2037 for Miami to play in another ACC championship game, I guess. It's 17 plus 15, 37. No, 30, 30, it's 32.
We're an underdog, too.
It's 32.
Have you?
2032.
Found that team we're an underdog to yet? Just out of curiosity.
Well, good news for Slim and the rest of Miami Nation. When Clemson and Florida State leave the ACC, they'll probably it won't take till 2032 for them to win the ACC.
Oh, come on now.
It might be like...
Don't change the subject just because you have just 4 arguments.
How did I change the subject? What was the subject?
I asked, show me the team we're an underdog to. You quite easily pull up the lines now.
Oh, I don't know, but you don't play Clemson. I know that. So...
We beat them last time we played them, so...
Yeah, I know. We know that.
They're irrelevant.
We know that.
Clemson's irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That might be the truest. They should be irrelevant for losing to Miami. What a terrible loss. What a terrible team to lose to. You're right. I should be worried. How the fuck did we lose to Miami?
And Duke.
And Duke. Two programs on right around the same level. Miami and Duke. And two terrible programs. How the fuck did we lose to them?
Oh, so freaking
Damn.
Duke,
He might be right. Clemson might be on the decline. How in the fuck do you lose to both Miami and Duke in the same year? I mean, that is poverty.
See, now you're starting to see things my way.
Yeah, I'm starting to see things your way. Now, you're actually right. Now that you put it in perspective for me, those two, the Miami loss might have been worse, which is even more sad.
Well, considering what happened, yeah, because I still think Dabo made a big mistake not at least benching Cade for a game.
Yeah, well, he should have been benched. He should have been benched after the Florida State game. Well, both of them, really.
Was it you that told me they pulled the same thing in the Florida State game?
Yeah. The same exact thing. Both of them goal line situations in an overtime and just ignored what the coaches said. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
I agree. I'd be calling for Miami, whoever Miami's quarterback is, to be benched if he did the same thing in that situation.
And I wasn't even calling for him to be benched for, like permanently, but make him sit down for a game and think about what he did. But when you don't do that, then he goes, okay, well, there's no consequences for this, so I'll just do it again. Fuck him.
It must be okay to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, perfect example. I said the same thing in the bowl game. Jacoby George got, what was it, like 45 yards worth of personal foul and unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, and I'm like, you got to sit his ass down. You got to send the message that that's not acceptable to do, because he let that fucking corner get under his skin, and he wasn't worried about football at that point. He was about ready to fight.
Well, the thing that the thing that rubbed me the wrong way is Dabo has always been about holding players accountable, and I mean he'll suspend players like key players. He suspended Deion Kane for the Fiesta Bowl and a playoff game, and then he's always talking about accountability this, accountability that, but then when Cade Klubnik does that, he doesn't hold him accountable. I was like, what? Like, this is hypocritical.
It is.
Very hypocritical. So that did piss me off. I'm still pissed off about it. If you can't tell, what's up, Vic?
Yeah, I hope y'all don't mind an SEC fan joining the show.
Yeah, it's fine. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
So what do you make of all this, Vic? Do you buy what Slim is selling? He's gone all in, and that's fine. I get it. He's a fan. We're all crazy. We're all a little bit delusional. But he's gone all in on Miami, like being the best team in the ACC this year. How do you feel about that?
No. Yeah, Miami is not winning the ACC.
Okay, based off of what, Vic?
Here we go.
Based off of the fact that y'all have never won it before.
Hey!
Dumb arguments abound. Y'all really got to get some better arguments. Okay.
I mean, it's quite literally the best argument you can make. I can't think of a better one.
I mean, that's like saying Clemson hasn't won the ACC for 20 years because they didn't for 20 years. They're not going to win it. But guess what they did? They ended up winning it.
Okay, when?
I don't know, how many years straight did Florida State win it after they joined?
Oh, God.
Clemson won the ACC 2 years ago.
Clemson went 20 years without winning a conference championship.
Yes, until
Exactly. Until they did.
Well, again, they went 20 years without winning one, but they had won one before. It wasn't their first one.
Okay,
Yeah.
we won 9 conference championships before. What's your point?
They didn't join the ACC and go 20 years without winning it.
in a conference that doesn't exist anymore.
Like I said, come up with a football argument. Until then, well, you're just making dumb fuck arguments.
Are giving football argument.
No, you're not.
The football argument is that the Clemson has a better head coach and they have a better team.
Yep.
And they have, well, ever since Miami's been in the ACC.
Had a better team. I would
No,
agree
they
with
have a
that
better
statement.
team.
I would agree with that statement 3 to 4 years ago. I don't agree with that statement today.
Would you agree with the?
You do still have a better head coach.
Hold on,
I'll give you that.
let's go. All right, so would you agree? Yeah, okay, so you do agree we have a better head coach?
Yeah, sure. Well,
Okay.
I mean, that'd be dumb as shit to argue that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I think your
You
head
would.
coach has gotten away from what made him successful.
He is.
What's made Mario Cristobal successful?
Mainly his ability to recruit.
Well, he hasn't been successful. That's my point.
All right. Well, what?
Yes, he has.
No,
you
yeah.
don't count. You
What-
don't
what-
count winning
what has
your
he done?
Hang on. You don't count winning your conference twice and winning a New Year's Six game success?
All right.
I mean, that Dan Lanning's given all the credit in the world and hasn't managed to do either one of those things.
I'm not talking about Dan Lanning. That's a different discussion.
What?
Not
No,
my,
that's an apples to apples comparison, actually.
You're projecting what other people say about Dan Lanning on me. I'm not talking about Dan Lanning. I'm talking about Mario Cristobal.
Okay, and you're projecting what other Miami fans do onto me, so it's only fair.
I'm not though. I know what you said.
yes, but we're not talking about what Mario did at Oregon. We're talking about what he done in Miami.
Does somebody have a dryer running right now? Sea Dog, turn your dryer off.
I hear it too.
Sorry.
It's just- I didn't know what that was.
I'm sorry. I'm in the laundry room. That's my life.
Yeah.
You've been relegated to the laundry room.
God damn.
Life, man.
Man, when's your house going to be done? You're doing the show with laundry.
I gotta do what I gotta do.
Welcome to the ACC Laundry Show.
He's
My wife came in and ran away. I can't help it.
Do you have a lighter in the pocket of your pants or something? What's banging around in there?
Yeah, I think it might be the zipper.
Is it your chapstick?
I actually accidentally washed this cord. Unfortunately.
I was like, I thought it was my dryer. I was about to yell at my wife, be like, "Why are you running the dryer?" But it's your dryer. Fuck you.
Sorry, I'll mute.
What were we saying? Oh yeah, Miami's terrible. Well, what do you think about that, Vic?
Yeah.
I mean, once again, if Miami's terrible, what does that make Clemson? Y'all lost to us.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Vic is blowing his balls dry.
What?
What?
I mean, outside of D-line and secondary, name me position groups where Clemson's better than Miami. I'm already giving you D-line and secondary.
Are you ready for this? Hold on to your hats now. You ready?
Go right ahead.
All right. Running back, linebacker, defensive line. And here we go. Here, this might shock you. This might put you in the casket, too. Wide receiver.
Casket.
Casket.
No.
I mean, yeah, Miami doesn't have Colby Young this year, so.
Yeah, we don't have our third best receiver. Okay. That's another thing that's getting me, and I've seen it more on Twitter than I have YouTube. These Georgia fans are trying to make Colby Young into something he isn't.
He was committed to us at one point.
Really? When? Right out of high school?
Colby Young.
Yeah, the receiver, right, out of Louisiana.
I don't remember where he's from originally. I know he transferred in. I think he's somebody Manny picked up as a transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was committed to us at one point. Maybe I'm thinking.
Or no, he come in. Excuse me, he come in Mario's first year, not Manny's. My bad. Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, should have landed him. He was good. He was a good wide receiver.
I wish.
So who do you have winning the Holiday Bowl? Miami or whoever they play?
Whoever they play. Yeah. Yeah. Miami just can't win a bowl game for whatever reason.
Damn.
For whatever reason, between a Clemson fan and a Georgia fan, neither one of them come up with a football argument as to why Miami's not going to do good this year. It's really
Well, first of all,
more pathetic and pitiful.
It's not pathetic. You're throwing out terms now as having a good year. What do you consider to be a good year? Because I consider 9 wins to be good for Miami, and I think they'll do that.
That's their floor.
For Miami.
But you just said I don't think they're going to have a good year. I think they have a great year. 9 wins.
It's
I mean,
for
bring out the confetti and and the tequila.
Everything goes their way. Ball bounces their way. They may even hit 11.
11.
They might.
Ah,
That
damn.
takes the ball bouncing your way somewhat.
When's the last time Miami won 11 games?
2000, probably 3.
Yeah.
4.
Oh, oof.
But once again, what does that have to do with this year? This year's team, this year's schedule.
God damn, 2003. What was going on? What was going on in the world in 2003?
2003.
I love how neither one of you can still answer
That was
the
a
question.
long time ago.
What was the question?
Yeah,
What does that have to do with this year's schedule and this year's team?
Momo says 02, not 03. That's even longer. So back in 02, I think I don't know what was going on in the world then. We just got into a war that didn't matter. I'm pretty sure Britney Spears was still sane and popular.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What was Alabama doing in 2002?
Into the Afghan War. They were.
Or 11, excuse me.
Yeah, they were mediocre. So I mean.
God dang.
Okay. None of that answers the question.
2002,
this year's team and this year's schedule.
You're only 3 years away or 4 years away from sounding like a Tennessee fan.
Yeah, it was the first.
Neither one of you can still answer the question, and I'll tell you why. Because you're unable to.
What was the question again?
What's the question? Yeah. Yeah. See, you don't even remember what the question was. So.
No, I'm just not repeating myself
Oh, yeah.
again.
So here, to recap this, it's everybody asking a Miami fan, what makes you think you're going to win the ACC when you haven't won it in 20 years? And him going, well, I believe so. I mean, people believe in Jesus, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and the fucking Tooth Fairy too. That's great.
The second best team in the conference has at best 3 position groups on the field better than Miami. At best.
All right.
I'm not even going. I gave you linebacker. We're just as good, if not better than you. So no. Now I'll give you D line and secondary. Running back, to be determined. Maffa's done good when he had limited carries, not when he's getting the bulk of the carries.
No, that's not true. When he got the bulk of the carries was when they were at their best.
Yeah.
He got 30 carries against Notre Dame and ran for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Huh?
He hasn't done it all season long.
Well, he hasn't been given the opportunity to.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. That doesn't mean that he's going to be able to do it all.
But when he did get the opportunity, he did do it. That's what I'm saying.
I've seen DJ look good in a single opportunity.
Yeah.
But when it rested on his shoulders all year long, couldn't hold up. Now, who do you have besides Maffa?
Florida State's secondary is better. Than who? Than Miami? I don't know.
I probably won't argue with that statement. I have some questions about our secondary. It's not for lack of talent, it's for lack of experience or experience in a Miami jersey. Because they got some guys that have experience, just not in a Miami jersey.
Paul says Miami needs a miracle. I don't think they need a miracle. Well, I do think that the ACC is wide open, and Miami should definitely be considered in that conversation. I mean, they're definitely one of the teams that has a chance to win it.
Open.
But
like most years, the ACC is probably a 2-team race. It's Clemson and Miami.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be that it was just Clemson. Yeah.
Well, you've had a few years where it's Clemson, Florida State too.
Oh, it was. 5 years ago, it was Clemson and nobody else in the ACC. So
that's why I said you've had several years where it's Clemson and Florida State too.
Yeah.
Man, Baylor Man says people are sleeping on Dave Dorn. Man, Rip Van Winkle, they've been sleeping for 100 years. The guy's been a coach for 100 years and hasn't won shit. So, yeah, you're right. They are sleeping on him. He's sleeping on himself.
Dorn's the winningest coach in NC State history, sir.
That's great.
Yeah.
Listen, you could put me at head coach for 50 years. I'd be the winningest head coach.
He hasn't been there that long.
No, well, he's been there. He's been there like 15 years or something. He's been there a long time.
Yeah, I put Dave Dorn in B tier. So
I mean, the guy can win 3 games a year and still be the winningest head coach in NC State history if you've been there that long.
Jesus Christ.
He had a couple of 8-win seasons and became the winningest head coach.
That's why I put Dave Dorn at B tier. But yeah.
Shout out to Jay Shipes. Thank you for the super chat. Hit the like if you think Slim took the day off to free base rocks. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of funny. Still lacking any sense of an argument, though.
All right, so he's been there for 13 years, apparently.
Well, you were close.
Yeah. I know he's been there since, around 2010, 11-ish. So, yeah. Oh. I wonder, is Sea Dog finished drying his clothes yet, or we have to wait? How much longer do we have to wait for him to turn his dryer off?
No, it's still going.
Oh, still going?
Yeah.
Did you think that maybe like the best time to dry your clothes would not be during the ACC show, or when you're not on the air, or?
Man.
Yeah, I don't think it's that.
That load, my wife did.
So your wife hates the ACC show. I got you.
The old ball and chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that bad to me, but yeah.
Oh. Well, if you have headphones on, it does. So Colby, we're in a group chat. Colby's one of the people in the group chat, and so he, we're trying. I'm trying to prepare Colby for marriage, because he's getting married later this year in December, and it appears as if he had his first fight with his future wife. Well, I don't know if it's their first fight, but maybe the first one I know about, which is all that really matters. And according to him, she did not want to come on the slob cruise. And I know, and I told him, I said, look, this is going to set the precedent for the rest of your marriage. You've got to put your foot down and just say, I'm going. Deal with it. Now, is that good advice?
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is that what you would do?
Is it?
Yes.
Is it that she?
And there you go.
That she doesn't want to go, or she doesn't want him to go?
In a singularity, yes, he has to put his foot down. But, and I'm sure Pete would agree with me on this, marriage is a compromise. So there are times she's going to put her foot down, and you have to bend to that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There has to be both.
Yeah, you have to. It goes both ways. You're right, but you have to pick your battles. But one of those battles is like you've got to set the standard.
Oh yeah. Now the Slob Olympics is one of those battles.
Yeah.
No. Choose your battles wisely.
Well, my wife knows how important the Slob Olympics are to me, too.
Yeah.
They
So I think he did put his foot down. I don't think it went well. But
listen, they're not all going to go well.
That's what I tried to tell him. I said, look, I said, like she'll get. I said, just do something nice for her, and she'll forget about it. That's how women are,
Yeah.
You piss them off, they need to do something nice for them, and then they'll forget about it eventually. Well, they might not forget, but they'll forgive you.
No, yeah, they don't forget anything.
Yeah, they don't forget. They're like elephants.
No.
Yeah, you get into an argument with a woman, she'll bring up some shit that happened like 15 years ago. You remember that one night? Oh, shit.
No, I don't remember that one night. I've slept since then.
I don't remember that one night.
No, but she does. I promise you.
She does, yes.
I'm proud of him, though. He put his foot down, and I think he won.
Well, that's the thing. You got to know that there shouldn't be any winners or losers,
There's always winners and losers,
You
C-Dog.
got to be on the same team with your wife.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume what it's about. And she may even kind of be right. Because if I had to guess, it's probably the fact that they're going on a week-long honeymoon right after they get married in Europe, and then a couple of months later taking a
Okay,
cruise.
so that's a great point that you made.
Okay.
So where they're going on their honeymoon, who do you think picked all those locations? Her or him?
She
She did.
She did. Absolutely.
100% she did. So he agreed to it, and he goes, "I want to go on a cruise for 3 days for the Slob Olympics," and she said no. I was like, "Well, I just agreed to go to a 2-week vacation throughout Europe with you." You know.
I mean, exactly. They could be abducted and become sex slaves. Have you ever seen Taken?
I don't know if they're going to stay at a hostel or not.
I mean, he's taking some fucking risk going over to Europe. There's much less risk on the Slob cruise.
Listen, do you think I asked for permission to go to Vegas in January with those guys? No.
No.
There was no. I said, do you mind? I said, I just booked a flight and a hotel to Vegas. I'll see you. I'll see you next week. But I'm a seasoned veteran. You got to know when you can do that, when you can't.
I may have to throw down the bullshit card on that one. I'm not sure that's how that one went down.
It's pretty much how it went. Yeah.
There may be some revisionist history there.
No. That's pretty much how it went. She knows, like, there's certain things that I do that she knows I'm just going to say I'm going to do it whether you like it or not. And certain things that she does that I don't like that I just know she's going to do it whether I like it or not. I mean, that's pretty much the way that works.
How the cookie crumbles is.
That's how the cookie crumbles. Exactly.
How the cookie crumbles. Yeah.
Kind of like Miami winning the ACC. Y'all don't like it, but that's just how the cookie crumbles.
What?
Well, that cookie's never crumbled. That cookie is stale as fuck.
Well, you haven't.
It's not even edible anymore.
Hey, you know what?
Well, you haven't won.
Stale cookies crumble better than any other.
That cookie is not even edible anymore.
Well, you haven't won the ACC, so.
Right.
Well, like I said, give it a few months.
Yes,
I wonder, Sea Dog, do you ask your wife or you just tell her
Tell her what?
anything?
I asked her.
Oh, Jesus. Come on.
Well, I say, hey, you know, like I said, she knows how important it is to me. So, for example, the Slob Olympics, she knows that it's pretty much like I'm pretty much going, you know, and how determined I am to go to the Slob Olympics every year.
So she just automatically knows then.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, we have a respect to where she wouldn't try to get in the way of me doing that, you know?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Unless there was a really, really good reason. There hasn't been. So, well, the closest it came was when we were moving out of our house and we had to be like out by the week. And I wanted to go to the softball game. And
Oh, yeah.
I stayed up like all night. It was crazy. I've done some crazy shit in order to be able to go to the Slob events.
Well, that's dedication.
I'm dedicated.
Yep.
Hey,
Motivated, dedicated.
I mean, I look forward to it all year, and I have bad FOMO. Like, if I heard you guys, I'd be so sad if I heard you guys talking about how much fun it was, and I missed it.
Yeah.
So.
Like if Mrs. Peete said I'm not going on the Slob cruise, I would just be like, okay, well, I'll see you when I get back then.
Yeah.
Like that would be pretty much the way it went.
Me too. Now my wife though has gone to every. She's been to every Slob Olympics.
She has, yeah.
Mine has too.
Mrs. Peete has too, yeah. Most of the wives have. Now, some of them might have been there under protest, but they still came.
Yeah, I'm sure there were probably several that were under. I think mine came to the first one under protest.
Well, I think they all came for the first time under protest. The first one, Mrs. Peete was like, "What? Or what? Like, what are you doing?" You know.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after that, I think it was fine. Once she realized you guys weren't all serial killers and weirdos. I mean, some were weirdos. You are weirdos, but you know, serial killers. Yeah.
That we know.
Weirdo I may be. Serial killer, no. Don't push me.
Yeah, I don't kill. Yeah, I don't kill cereal. Well, I mean, I eat cereal.
Vic, I mean, you could be, after the second Slob Olympics, Vic, you could be considered an attempted serial killer because you tried to give all of us the woo flu.
He's like Captain Crunch. He's got the same hat and everything, the pirate hat. I wonder what Vic's parents said for the first Slob Olympics. How did that conversation go, Vic?
Told them that, well, we need to go to the Slob Olympics. Gonna be in Atlanta, and all of my YouTube friends are going. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd they say?
You know, Uncle Lou and Pete and all of them are gonna be there. So.
And what'd they say?
They said, "All right, well then we'll go." Yeah.
Damn.
I'm surprised it was that easy.
Yep, it was that easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you say no to Vic?
No.
Yeah. I don't think I could say no to him either, actually.
Isn't that right?
I do think that out of everybody, though, Vic would be like the best candidate for a serial killer. Have you seen him? I mean, I've seen him drive that hover around with zero care for anybody in his life. I could just imagine, and that was when you weren't even mad. Imagine if you were mad.
Do you remember that Atlanta Falcons video he made that we watched on the show? I think it was a midday show.
Oh yeah.
Like, I would have hated to have been around Vic then. I mean, he had like muscles in his face twitching and shit.
Yeah.
Like your ankles would stand no chance around Vic that day.
Yeah, Max says he doesn't give a shit about your toe. I think if Vic ran over somebody's toes with his hover round, he wouldn't even care. He would have no remorse. He wouldn't even say sorry. He'd just be like, "Yeah, you shouldn't have been in my way. You put your foot out there. It's not my problem. Fuck your toe."
Well, I mean, I did have remorse, but yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
For a split second.
Like 3 seconds. Then he didn't care anymore.
No.
Vic doesn't care.
Or when hurricanes hit Selene, he doesn't care then either.
Well, one time I was off the air for like 4 days because I was like really sick, and he actually called me. And I don't think I talked to him. He left me a voicemail.
When I think I texted you.
Did you text me? Is that what it was? You did try to call me, but I don't think I answered it, or I wasn't available. And then you texted me afterwards and said, "I'm just checking on you to make sure you're okay because I care."
Yeah, see?
He really does care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
a little special.
Then that just begs the question at that point: what is it about Selene that makes you not care about him?
No, I do. It's just that I don't know.
You just didn't that day.
It does appear as if we bullied a couple of people into making the trip, though. TK and Selene are both now leaning towards coming, even though they said they weren't coming.
Yeah.
But the only reason is because we bullied him into it. We beat him into submission. And sometimes that's what you need to do.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
tough
basically
love.
Didn't the same thing happen with Jackpot? I mean, it just took more bullying.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we got lot to go. Yeah, that took a lot. Yeah,
I mean, he hasn't been in 2 years.
to get jackpot. Yeah,
Well, Jackpot said he already reserved his room, so.
get the.
That's, I wonder what caused the change of heart because, when it came to this last one, I mean, he was just besmirching the great name of the Slob Olympics altogether.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Maybe it's like what Sea-Dog was saying. It's FOMO, fear of missing out.
FOMO. Okay.
Yeah, FOMO is a real thing.
He saw all the videos and stuff from the last Slob Olympics and started to feel really bad.
Yeah, FOMO.
FOMO.
Yeah.
FOMOphobia. Yeah.
I wonder if there's anybody else we can bully into coming. Who else is there that's not like fully committed yet?
I wish Coop would come again.
Yeah, we need to get him to go.
Hey, my driver
We need to
just
get
finished.
him and T2I.
Yeah, T2Y for sure.
Yeah, T2I. Yeah.
Now, who's gonna jump back on the Pester Slita train about going?
No, I'm not asking him to go.
All right, when I ask.
You don't want to be stuck on a boat with Slita for 4 days?
No, well, I mean, if he comes, great. I'm not going out of my way to try to get him to come, like some of these other people.
Not going to the Slob Olympics.
No, he's not going.
Yes, Lit is not going.
The gym there is not up to his standards. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He's a gym warrior now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Octavian, yeah. Macklin says Rob Sanders. That's a good one. But here's
Rob, we need to work on.
Rob.
well. First of all, that's up to Jackpot to work on Rob. That ain't up to us. But I'm going to tell you right now, Rob's not coming. I would love for Rob to come. Believe me, I would love for him. But I just I think there's 0% chance of that happening.
Rob.
You know.
Yeah. What about Bad Dog? I guess he's more of an NFL guy, so I guess he probably.
Yeah, I don't think Bad Dog would come. Although I would love for him to come too.
Yeah, Bad Dog.
That's a bit of a trek though. He's in New York, or is he in New York or New Jersey? One of the two. But anyway, he's in that area. That's a long trip from New York. But
Yeah, that would be.
yeah, he'd have to play for a plane ticket and Slim's doing that, but a plane ticket and the cruise ticket.
Yeah.
But Rob is all in on staying home. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
Let me tell you something.
it's
When we had the Slob Olympics in Charleston, Rob didn't come. Now, he lives in South Carolina, but he didn't come. But the week before, he was in Charleston.
Sure, you went
now
there.
that makes perfect sense.
The week
Oh.
before.
Yeah,
I
that was
said,
for-
damn.
That was for a boat show.
Yeah,
right?
boat show.
Yeah, boat show.
A boat show.
I mean, I'm all about some boats, but I ain't all that about some boats.
Fuck a boat show.
Oh, I like boats. I have a boat. I don't think I've ever been to a boat show.
Well, I mean, he can come and actually ride on an actual boat this time if he wants to. I mean, we're going on a boat.
Right?
We can show him the boat. A boat show. Ah, dang. What does that even? What, you go look at boats? Is that what a boat show is?
I guess so.
Much. Think of it like SHOT Show for boats.
Yeah.
I think would be a fair comparison.
Okay. Oh. Is this the SEC show? No.
No.
Well, apparently we have illiterate people in the audience tonight.
called the ACC show, at least while Clemson is still in the ACC.
Yeah.
Wow. So for another 12 years.
Are we gonna change the name of the show or something?
Yeah, y'all gonna change
I don't know what we're going to do.
SEC show if Clemson goes to the SEC.
Will never be a SEC show.
I don't know what it'll be.
It'll be the SEC show. Yep.
Absolutely not.
I mean, I do really think that all this conference expansion is bad for football. That's why I don't want to see a lot of it happen.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you on that, but we're way past that at this point. It's kind of just like trying to figure out where, how it's all going to play out. But I do agree with you. I don't really like it either. But listen, there's a lot of things I don't like. So.
Well, and I'll say this: I do think anybody leaving the ACC at this point, I think it's more than just the universities and conference involved. I mean, because the ACC is involved with ESPN and has a contract with them. By extension, all these universities do too. And I think a lot of ESPN's will is going to be determined in this. Now, I'm not one of those people that thinks ESPN is, pulling strings behind the scenes and trying to run college football or anything, but I mean, once you have networks involved, you can't deny that ESPN has an interest in it and is going to flex whatever muscle they deem fit for it to go whatever way they think serves them best.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that at all. They definitely have an interest in it.
So that's why I really don't see, if they do leave, I don't see Florida State or Clemson ending up in the SEC. To me, especially when you're talking about ESPN involved, for them it makes no sense.
Well, no, hold on. You lost me there. Why would that be? ESPN owns both the ACC network and the SEC network.
Right.
Why would they not want Clemson adding to the revenue of ESPN advertising?
Because they already are.
No, but not the same way they would if they were in the SEC. They would make more money on Clemson if they were in the SEC than the ACC.
No.
Yes.
They would also have to pay them more money. It's actually in ESPN's best interest.
Well, they're not paying Clemson anything. They're paying the conference the money that gets divvied out by the conference between the teams.
Yeah, so it works the same way in the SEC.
Yeah. Except more eyeballs. I don't know what you don't understand about advertising, but the more eyeballs on the football game, the more money they charge for advertising. And there'd be more eyeballs on the game if they were in the SEC than the ACC nationally.
Didn't change the fact they got to pay them more money. It is cheaper for them to have
They don't have
where they're at.
Again, they don't have to pay Clemson anything. That's a conference thing. They divvy the money out of the conference divvies out the money to the teams.
Right, so the conference is just the middleman and the network's paying the schools.
There you go.
They add Clemson and Florida State to the SEC.
Yep.
They're going to renegotiate that contract, have to pay even more money.
Renegotiate. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and make more money too.
Maybe.
No, not maybe. They would.
Yeah, it's not a maybe.
They're going to make more money off of Clemson playing Alabama, Texas A&M, Ole Miss. You go down the line than they are against Clemson playing Syracuse and fucking Boston College, dude. That's just, it's not really that hard to figure out.
Yeah.
More people are going to watch that.
Yeah.
I don't know if more people are going to be watching a 7-8 win Clemson team in the SEC.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So here we go. Back to square one, I guess.
Yep.
And then it all depends. Is that bump in viewership going to amount to enough of a bump to justify how much more they're going to have to pay? Who knows?
Yes.
Well, see, you're assuming yes, but you have absolutely no clue.
No, I do have a clue. They would make more money. Clemson would make more money. The SEC would make more money. Everybody would come out on top on that deal.
Yeah, because everybody comes out on top of every deal. It just works magically like that.
No, I didn't say it. It's not magic.
Come up with a better argument.
It's not magic. It's just a fact.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
And you want to talk about, you especially want to talk about teams being better off moving conferences? No, not necessarily. Would anybody make the argument that Maryland is better off since joining the Big Ten?
No.
Nobody would.
But they're not worse off. I mean, they weren't winning the ACC either. So they're basically in the same position in the Big Ten that they were in the ACC, except they're raking in the dough now, tenfold compared to what they were in the ACC. So yeah, they are winning.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Big
is.
Ten isn't getting paid tenfold what the ACC.
Okay, not tenfold. I was exaggerating, but a lot more. Double.
More.
No.
Yeah.
At least.
No, they haven't made double of what the ACC has made yet.
Yeah.
They are making double.
Estimates of that new
The Big
contract.
Ten teams are making double what the ACC teams are making right now.
No,
So
they're not.
yes,
That
yes,
is
they are.
Actually incorrect.
Making double.
That is complete and utter
Make
horseshit
double.
pulled out of the cavernous crack of
No.
your ass.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That is completely
Slim,
not
I don't know
true.
what you're looking at. The Big Ten teams are making upwards of $80 million a year per year TV contracts, and the ACC is making 42 million.
Yet.
What?
That's the estimate on a new contract that nobody's.
All right, if you want to split hairs from a couple of $1,000s here or there, they're making double what the ACC is making. That's just a fact.
No, I'm not splitting hairs, because if we believe this same line of horseshit, Notre Dame was going to get $40-50 million a year from their NBC deal, and they didn't. Not even half of that.
All right, so out of the Power Four conferences that are left, the ACC is last in revenue from TV money, and the Big Ten is first.
Yes.
Right? Am I right about that?
Yes, but
Okay.
those-
So tell me in what universe would Maryland benefit by staying in the ACC instead of being in the Big Ten? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And when the ACC signs a new contract, then they'll have the biggest.
When in 20 years from now?
We've already covered that.
They
Already
won't.
covered that.
They won't. The ACC is not going to have the
The
biggest
ACC is not signing a TV deal worth $80 million a year for each team. It's not happening. Not in my lifetime.
He is never gonna have the
When the
biggest
ACC signed theirs, it was the biggest deal.
win.
Then the SEC signed theirs, and it was the biggest deal. Then the Big Ten signed theirs, and it was
It
the
went-
biggest deal.
This just doesn't make any sense. So
When
So
did
Slim,
Perfect
Slim,
sense. That's
Slim.
how contracts work.
Yeah.
You're
Slim-
acting like you don't understand how contracts
I understand how they work. I understand how they work. I understand how they work. I also understand that the ACC signed a terrible contract, and they're stuck in it till 2036. So your idea is they should just sit around. They should just sit around for the next 15 years and get fucked at 6 ways till Sunday because they signed a contract.
Yeah, and
No.
once again, whoever signs the newest contract has got the biggest deal. That's why Jalen Hurts is the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, because he signed the newest deal.
I just don't understand your. So you think that Clemson and Florida State and everybody else in the ACC should just sit around until 2036 and twiddle their thumbs and watch themselves get left behind by all the other conferences because
Yeah.
they signed a contract?
You're assuming everybody's getting left behind by something.
You are getting
What,
They are.
What exactly are you missing out? another ball pit and fucking smoothie bar.
Being relevant in the landscape of national college football, Power 4 or 5 football. That's what they're missing out on.
No, you're missing out on being relevant because your coach has lost his edge.
I'm not talking about Clemson. I'm talking about every single team in the ACC.
I don't think anybody's missing out on anything.
Yeah. They're missing out on $50 million. That's what they're missing out on every year.
Ooh. Once again, if it all mattered was money, then Texas would win everything and nobody should even try.
Yeah, money doesn't matter. That's why the poorest teams in the country win the national championship every year, because money doesn't matter.
I never said it doesn't matter. You can take it to the extreme if you want.
Basically, what
But nobody said
You
that.
took it to the extreme. You're the one that claims that the team that has the most money should win every year. So I took it the other way. So the team with the least amount of money should never win anything.
That was the argument you made. That's not the argument I made.
what?
But saying money doesn't matter in major sports is just fucking stupid.
But saying that you're going to get left behind because
Yes.
of some TV deal
Yeah.
is a completely unproven theory.
That is not unproven.
That's not borne out by the evidence.
All right. Well, when was the ACC making more than the SEC?
Never.
I'm still waiting on some evidence of somebody getting left behind because they make less money. I haven't seen it.
Oh my God.
They don't even.
Slim, there isn't a sport that exists on the planet where money doesn't matter. There isn't. That doesn't exist.
I didn't say it doesn't matter. But according to you, everybody's getting left behind nationally because they're making less money.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, everybody in the ACC is getting left behind by the Big 12, especially the Big 10 and the SEC. They are.
A single example of an ACC team that has been left behind.
There hasn't been an example of a $50 million a year chasm until now. So now we're dealing with it.
This is all a theory
Virginia.
based off of no evidence.
All right.
Okay.
Boston College, Syracuse.
Boston College has been a shit program literally all of its existence.
Yeah. Yep. Virginia. Yeah.
You talk about Clemson fans sticking their head in the sand and acting like shit don't matter with what's going on with them, but you want to stick your head in the sand and say that earning $40 million less a year is no big deal?
For evidence to prove your theory, and you have none.
Because it hasn't happened before. There hasn't been a chasm as big as it is now, with $40 and $50 million a year difference ever.
On everybody forever.
Okay.
Texas A&M has had a chasm on everybody forever.
You can get stuck behind in the ACC. Once Clemson and Florida State leave, Miami will be stuck in the ACC, and guess what? They won't do shit. They might win the ACC a bunch of times because the two better teams are gone, but nationally they won't do shit.
Oh, okay.
And they'll be looking to get their way out too if they're smart.
Evidence proves you wrong again.
What evidence?
What evidence?
Miami has been the cheapest football program in power history and managed to win 5 national titles.
And that has led them to not even win the ACC in 20 years.
Have you won?
That's what that's led them to.
Making dumb coaching hires has led them to not winning the
Right.
ACC.
Has nothing to do with anything else except for that.
All right. There you go. You just gave us an example, Slim. Right. About Miami being a cheap program and also not winning anything lately. So.
No, they've made a bunch of dumb coaching hires.
Mhm.
They've been cheap forever. Managed to win despite it.
Boston up by 20 with 9 minutes and 46 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
On the
I need them to score 30 more points in the next 9 minutes, which is very possible to win my bet. Oh. Anyway, I do have to end the show, gentlemen. But I do appreciate all of you and love you, even you, Slim.
Oh, I know.
So, Vic, what you got going on this week? You got a show? Are you doing? Is Celine doing a show, or is he? What's he doing?
that he's supposed to be doing a show tomorrow. Yeah.
He's supposed to be. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I did do a tier list video for the ACC coaches today. So.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Really?
then then I still need to do one for the.
I don't want to spoil it because I want everybody to go watch your video. But who did you have at the top of that list?
Yeah, I had Dabo in.
Slim.
Yeah, I had Dabo in S tier. So.
Wow. So Dabo's still the best coach in the ACC. All right.
He's the coach that I had.
I said that a half hour ago. What's your point?
Well, I'll have
okay.
to go see what you had to say about Brent Key.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
We won't spoil it. Everyone go watch Vic's video, the ACC coaches tier list. I'm gonna watch it. I didn't see the notification for it.
Y'all had your notifications turned on.
No,
you
I
already know about it.
I did, but I don't know why I didn't get it.
Yeah, and then also this week I'm gonna do one for the Big 12. Yeah. And then that'll be it.
That might be more interesting than the ACC. I mean, clearly Dabo's the best coach in the ACC, but like I don't know who is the best coach in the Big 12. Is it fucking? I'm a man. I'm 40.
No, I mean, I would have to go with the Utah coach, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whittingham.
Whittingham. Yeah. Maybe.
I'd like to, this is a good thought experiment. I'd really like to see what that dude could do with a top 10 roster.
Chris Kleiman, right?
I don't know about that yet.
What about Lance Leipold?
I thought it was Leipold.
Who can win 9 games at Kansas?
That's not a bad pick.
Coach, so.
Hey, I'll put him on there. Who is that Andy Reid lookalike that had Kansas at number 1 in the country back in 07? Damn,
Andy Reid lookalike.
Dude, I swear to God, dude could be Andy Reid stunt double.
Yeah, and then suddenly Kansas got good after they were only winning like 1 or 2 games every year. Yeah.
Well, they had Les Miles for 2 years. That was a disaster.
Yeah. They did.
Well, I think Les Miles was set up for failure because that guy before him just completely screwed up the roster with JUCO transfers and stuff like that.
I think that Les Miles did have a 5-win season.
I think Les Miles has CTE. The guy doesn't even know what to call. He's like the football coach version of Joe Biden. The guy has no idea what's going on.
I thought that. I
don't know what day it is.
Okay, really. I thought that was Mac.
That was Mac Brown for sure.
Yeah.
He already forgot what happened at Georgia Tech with Jeff Collins.
I bet Les Miles shit his pants on the sidelines at least 3 times, and nobody knew about it.
I mean, Jeff Collins, you say that, C-Dog, but Jeff Collins has a decent record as a DC. Just because he's a terrible head coach doesn't mean he can't be a good coordinator.
You're right. However, I'm going to go ahead and make this prediction. It's going to go terribly.
Well, I mean,
North Carolina's
had
defense has
there.
been god awful for years, and
Yeah, they've had
the one to come fix it. No.
I mean, Will Muschamp kind of falls into that. I would hire Will Muschamp as my DC tomorrow. but I'd never hire him to be a head coach.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'll go one step further. Hell, I'd rather have Will Muschamp than fucking Jeff Collins any day of the week. And they're both weird in their own way, but I'd rather have Muschamp.
I agree 100%.
Well, yeah, I mean, Collins doesn't have Muschamp's resume as DC.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Vic. I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me come on the ACC show.
Yes. SEC people are welcome on here every once in a while. We do make exceptions.
We have to be inclusive. This is 2024.
We're inclusive. He can identify as whatever he wants. We'll still let him on. It's okay. All right, Slim, man. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yes, sir. Fun as always.
All right. Love you, brother.
All right, you too.
All right, Sea-Dog.
All right, man.
We did it.
Yeah, we did.
Barely, but we did it.
Great show.
Yeah, great show.
Back in the swing of things.
Back in the swing of things. That's right. All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Any announcements that you need to make, or?
No, I'm just grinding all by my lonely.
You can turn the dryer back on now.
Okay. Actually, we're going to sleep in here, so we're not going to be having that going while we're sleeping.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like it would be soothing to sleep to. It's not soothing when you're on a show, but I could go to sleep to the sound of a dryer, I think.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. All right. All right. See you later, Sea-Dog. Love you, buddy.
Later.
All right. All right, everyone. That's going to do it for me as well. Thanks for tuning into the ACC show. We'll see you again next week. I'll be live tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. on my second channel for the midday show. Everyone have a great night, and I'll see you then. Thank you.